Aloha, this is new video into our newsroom from the base of Mauna Kea, where activists continue to block construction equipment from getting to the planned site for the 30-meter telescope. Government agencies have spent more than $10 million responding to the protest at the intersection of Mauna Kea Access Road and Daniel K. Inouye Highway. Thank you for joining us for this HNN special report. We are now on day 114 of the TMT protest. 30-meter telescope officials are still making a direct plea to state leaders and the public to move this project forward. This as activists continue to stand their ground. Our Mahealani Richardson is live on the Big Island with an update on this conflict. Mahel, you've been covering this story since day one. How have the crowd numbers changed out there?
Well, Ash, as you recall, in July and August, the crowds were huge. Police said anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 when there was that heavy police action in July. But then as we walked around the camp today, the Pu'uhonua, Pu'uhuluhulu, the crowds are much smaller. We attended the midday ceremonies. We saw them today, and about 50 or so people were there, including some renowned kumuhula and many visitors. Some of them are pretty much residents, if you call, residents here at the camp. There are also people visiting from the mainland, and there were also a couple of Major League Baseball players, Colton and Kian Wong, who also decided to visit. The people here say that even though the crowds have gotten a lot smaller, you don't see as many tents as before. They say that their message has now gotten worldwide. They are standing strong in their opposition to the 30-meter telescope, which they say, if it is built at the summit of Mauna Kea, which is at 14,000 feet, they believe that it would desecrate the land, and that's why they believe that the island or the land is sacred. The 30-meter telescope, as you know, is said that they are still committed to building on Mauna Kea, and so is Big Island Mayor Harry Kim. He says he is still committed to the 30-meter telescope, but finding a way forward. Ash?
Mahel, what about the law enforcement presence out there? Are they still really visible?
Yeah, I wanted to show you, it's interesting. There have been hundreds of tickets issued by Big Island Police, but as we've been here at the intersection of Daniel K. Inouye Highway, also called Saddle Road, and Mauna Kea Access Road, that is the only access road that goes up Mauna Kea, we haven't really seen a lot of police. But I wanted to show you right behind me, that's the main intersection where you see the tents. You see the main tents of the Pu'uhonua, and then you cross the street where you see those crossing guards. You go up a little bit more, you see a crowd of people, and then those gray tents, that's where the kupuna stay. That's the kupuna tent. Some of them have been sleeping there. They've got space heaters in there. When I checked in with them, they were having lunch and having a good time, saying the food is awesome here. And then if you go up a little further up the road, that's where the cattle guard is, and that's where Big Island Doe Care is, and also state sheriffs. And then past that, way up past the middle of the Mauna, that's the midway point where the state sheriffs are staying. But we haven't really seen a big police presence. Some of the leaders here at the camp, when Colton and Kian Wong, the Major League Baseball players, came here, they actually went to Lino Kamakau. He is the Big Island Doe Care chief, and they introduced him to them. And so there were some words exchanged. And so there's a lot of pleasantries here at the Pu'uhonua, and things are very calm as they're just waiting for something to happen here. Ash?
Right, Mahea. And in your conversations today with both the protest leaders and Mayor Harry Kim, does it sound like they will be able to reach a resolution at some point, or what are you getting from them?
Well, it's really interesting because the activist leaders say they are still standing strong in their opposition to the 30-meter telescope, and they say that they will not leave this intersection as long as TMT plans to build here. But at the same time, they say that there is a dialogue between them and government, and they have been talking this entire time. And it seems as though both sides are hoping for some sort of peaceful resolution. Now, what that peaceful resolution is, it's really unclear. We had a very long conversation with Big Island Mayor Harry Kim. He said that he is dedicated to upholding the laws. Arrests could be possible at some point. He doesn't know when, but he is insisting that there is a peaceful way forward. You know, he has a draft of a statement that he worked on 108 times, which he released earlier, that talks about a peaceful way forward. And he says that these words, this peaceful way forward, are not his, and this is actually a group of people who he's been talking to about better management and better care of Mauna Kea. But he, Harry Kim, still believes in the 30-meter telescope, and he said that he would be very sad and very disappointed if TMT does not build on Mauna Kea.
Right, and this all started in July during the summer, Mahea. Winter just weeks away. Any concerns on both sides about, you know, what's going to happen once winter does get here? Because conditions can get pretty brutal up there.
That's right. Actually, today it was a beautiful day, Ash, maybe up into the 80s. And now that we're getting into the later afternoon, it's getting a little chillier. But I must say, there were actually some colder days in the middle of July that I experienced. But as it gets into winter, you know, the nighttime could get down into the 30s. And so the activist leaders here have said they are ready. They have winterized the camp. It is a little bit smaller, but they have winterized. They say they have gotten a lot of donations in terms of blankets and food. They have space heaters. They have those heated lamps. And they said that it's quite comfortable. So they say that they're not worried. You talk to some other people who are just visiting here for the first time. They said that they are worried about some of the Hawaiian elders who are at times living here at the Pu'uhonua because of the conditions and because of the altitude. But the leaders say, don't worry about us, we'll be fine, and we're going to be here to stand our ground. Ash?
Okay, and we know tomorrow, Mahea, there is a UH Board of Regents meeting in Hilo, which you will be at. What can we expect from that meeting?
Well, the Board of Regents meeting starts at the University of Hawaii's Performing Arts Center at 9:30. And I can tell you, Ash, it's probably going to be very emotional, as we've seen from other Regents meetings. The Board of Regents is laying out a plan of rules for Mauna Kea for better protection, which they say better stewardship of the mountain. Many of the activists here are against those rules. They say they are against the process. They said that they don't like the fact that, or they feel that their religious access is being inhibited, even though the University of Hawaii says religious access is not being blocked. So it's expected to be a very contentious, a very long meeting. We've heard that it could go all the way into the nighttime. And at the end of the day, we still don't know if the University Board of Regents will ultimately make a decision. And so this has been a very long process. This has been months of waiting, months of heated arguments on both sides, many sides of the debate. So again, we'll be there at 9:30 tomorrow morning at the University of Hawaii Hilo Performing Arts Center. Ash, back to you.
Thanks, Mahea, for that report. And you can watch Mahea's reports from Mauna Kea starting tomorrow. And of course, stay with Hawaii News Now on air, online, and on our digital platforms for the latest developments.